So I've been following Arcade1UP. Obviously, I was very interested. The first time I saw it was in the Evo 2018. They had a commercial. Justin Wong was in it. Justin said, "Hey, it feels like the arcade. It feels like good old days." And I was very intrigued and interested because I've always wanted arcades. Now, they're pretty expensive. In my radius of 500 miles, it's very hard to find a good, decent price arcades. I want a Neo Geo machine. There's a guy selling it like 30 miles away for like 500. I've had people selling Street Fighter cabinets for 800. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. I just don't want it. I don't want it for that much. That's super expensive for something I might not be playing every single day. So here comes Arcade1UP, having a little mini replica of the Championship Edition arcade. It looked great. I liked it. It looked fun. I remember that arcade back in the day. I was really interested. I decided I was probably going to buy it. But for some reason I decided, hey, I'm just going to hold out. It is a new company. It is a new thing. They might not have something going on, so I decided to, chill, just relax, and see what other people had to do. I did watch videos on YouTube from people who got a free testing unit, and I didn't really like their reviews. Well, a lot of people's reviews were so positive, and I thought it was like a little bit weird, and I felt like they were just saying that stuff because, it was a free unit that they received. They didn't really go out there and waste $300. It's a bit different when you're actually working hard and have to waste $300 on the machine. It could be a lot of money for some people like me, and it could be a little bit of money for some people who make more than me. So it's a bit different. So I really didn't pay attention too much to those reviews because I felt they're a little bit too biased, or they're probably paid off to say positive stuff as well, or they just really not really arcade experts that they don't really know the difference of anything. After watching countless videos on YouTube from people who were regular average Joe, I found out that a lot of people had button issues. Some people's buttons were already going out. I even found out that some people's monitors was already like dying with the pixels or not working at all. Some people didn't even get their items in good condition. Some people bought their stuff and their stuff wasn't even working. I've also saw a guy who had, where you put your hands on the control, panel. His paint has faded. It was told by Arcade1UP that it's put with some etc stuff to keep it lasting for years, and that guy hasn't even had it for a month, and the paint already faded in the arcade panel, and where you put your hands where the joystick is at. And I thought it was pretty crazy. The one thing that really killed it for me is that it's just mono. It's freaking mono. Are you freaking kidding me, man? We're in 2018. You can't make it stereo. I understand there's one speaker, but there's still a possible way to make stereo sound come out from one speaker. And that's another thing that was pretty whack, is that there was only one speaker. It's like they try to cheap out as much as they could. The buttons are really cheap. I don't even gotta feel them. I knew by the look at them that they were pretty cheap. And I've seen a lot of people complain that their buttons, like I said, are going out. So I knew that the product looked really bad. They cheaped out a lot. They probably pay like under $100 to make the units and sell them for $300. You got to make profit somehow. If you build an arcade machine that costs $300 and sell it for $300, you wouldn't make anything. You'll be broke and you'll be poor. Another thing that I've been seeing lately with the Arcade1UP cabinets is people are pretty much gutting out everything. They're taking all the buttons out. They're replacing new buttons. Another thing is that they're actually taking out the specific software that they have, and they're ripping out that little device, and they're pretty much installing Raspberry Pis. Yes, people are installing Raspberry Pis on these consoles. So the fact that people are already gutting these things and pretty much wasting $300 for an empty case with a monitor is pretty ridiculous in my personal opinion. Like I said, that's a lot of money for me. For you, it might not be, but for me, it's a lot of money. $300 just for a arcade template and a monitor. I bought a monitor for like $10 before, so I could probably just make my own arcade cabinet. And that's just the thing, is I've been thinking about doing that as the alternative, because buying an arcade is really expensive where I live. Maybe if I look over 1,000 miles in my radius, I could probably find something cheap, but it's going to be a lot of money trying just to drive there and pick up an arcade. So it's kind of hard trying to find stuff. I think I'm just going to stick to trying to make one. I don't have wood cutting tools, but I do have a friend who has a friend who has a friend, if you know what I mean, because that's pretty much what I'm going to do. Also, I'm not trying to bash Arcade1UP. I did go to Walmart and there is a bunch of negative reviews on the item. So a lot of people who actually bought it have gave their honest opinion. Please, if you go to Walmart, do not pay attention to any of the reviews that are made in August or September, because the product did not release during that time to the public. It's like some people just sucked it up and decided to give 5-star reviews. A lot of people in the reviews in Walmart have said that they probably got paid to say positive things, and it probably was, because the fact that there's more negative reviews on current dilemmas, I mean not dilemmas but current situations where it's been out for the public, shows that the product isn't that great. And like I said, people are gutting them out, changing the buttons and everything. You know, if you have to do that, that's like buying the PlayStation 4 and you gotta change the Blu-ray drive and you gotta change the control buttons on your DualShock 4 and you gotta change the chip, etc. It's just ridiculous. You don't do that. And when you buy a product and expect it to be great. You don't want to be wasting extra money for no apparent reason. So yeah, that's my little rant on Arcade1UP. They haven't done anything bad to me, but I do want to tell people who have been interested, because I did recommend this item to my friend. I did recommend this to people. I actually told people that this is a pretty neat idea and it's great for people who don't actually want to build something, but I regret it. I even I retract my statement to my friends and told them don't buy it. It's a useless product. You'll be wasting a lot of money. And I had to tell my friends that, because I guess the nostalgia took over. And I think that's the reason why a lot of people have took over on their sense as well. That nostalgia of the arcade just makes you feel like good old days. So you try to look past it because you want the nostalgia. But at the end of the day, you're just going to waste a lot of money for something that's not even that great. And people's buttons are already breaking. Imagine not even a year, your system will probably be broken already. So I don't feel like the longevity of these arcade systems are great. So yeah, anyways, I'm out. I'll see you guys later. Peace.